Linked up on Mark13News.com for December 3rd, 2021 is first of all the radical transformation of the world order, which is an article about Russia's relations with India that says the emerging political landscape consists of a multipolar world, but then going on to say that for now the chances of creating such a common system, meaning a multipolar world order, are slim, and that Russia and India will have to build bilateral relations in a world that finds itself in a state far away from the desirable format of the common system, which again is another way of saying a multipolar world order. Up next, Iran, which is Persia in Ezekiel chapter 38, seeking to integrate with Eurasia, an article that says Iran perceives the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as a club of revisionist states that opposes the United States while promoting multipolarity in the international system. And not only are the two warring factions of Kenites using the governments of the world against each other through multipolar versus unipolar globalism, but also the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy continues to formulate up until it becomes the bear of Daniel chapter 7 at the woe of the fifth trumpet. And finally, the CFR on Biden's Summit for Democracy, which will bring together representatives from 108 countries in a virtual meeting beginning on December the 9th. And the article also points out that the transatlantic relationship formed the backbone of the liberal international order, with the creation of institutions such as the United Nations, which is the great horn of the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8, in my opinion. And not only were the original plans for the United Nations drafted by a group of CFR members called the Informal Agenda Group, but at the UN's founding, 43 of the U.S. delegates were or would be members of the CFR, according to an op-ed piece on theunion.com from 2002. And the United Nations is also the subject of Daniel 11:20, which would be more accurately translated as one who sends a raiser of taxes, with the raiser of taxes being, in my opinion, the Paris Climate Accord that went into effect in November of 2016. And the Paris Climate Accord was under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and it's only after the United Nations gets broken, so to speak, that the four notable ones rise up to replace it, as you can see in Daniel chapter 8 verse 8. The four notable ones being the same thing as the four beasts of Daniel chapter 7 that rise up together when the so-called New World Order comes into being at the woe of the fifth trumpet, when the hour of temptation begins, which won't happen until Satan and his angels get cast to earth, because Daniel's fourth beast is exclusively supernatural. And after the deadly wound to the one world political system, Satan will appear as the false Christ in Jerusalem at the woe of the sixth trumpet, beginning the 2.5 months or 70 evenings that the 70 years in captivity to the Babylon of old were a type of. The true Christ won't return until the woe of the seventh trumpet, and as the true Christ says in the last verse of Mark chapter 13, what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch.